course, that's nothing down here except for our humidity. Hi. So what's going on in your neck of the woods, Bob? KB2EF, W4RQ.
W4RQ, KB2EF, good time. Yeah, I have the benefit of the VA here, and I refuse to go to because they are not even in the practice of medicine. They're still stumbling around. So I don't go there. You can go in with a splinter in your finger and only amputate your left leg. So no, I stay away from that. So I'm glad he got that done. But I know all about knees. I've been living with that for, 40 years? Anyway. If your phone is nearby, I sent you a picture, actually 2 pictures. My unit finally arrived the other day, and I have been researching. The first picture shows the box that came in, the tag sheet, and then there's a bag with 2 antennas, some connectors, and some 90-degree connectors, and then the board itself. The second picture is a blow-up of the board. This is a duplex board, which allows me to take advantage of both time slots. So I can set the hotspot up any way I want. I'm not restricted to just one time slot. So that's what I've been looking at and reading and researching and programming. And this morning I got a call from my generator people. They'll be back up tomorrow, hopefully with the correct harness. The issue on that is this generator is over 12 years old here. And actually, it's 12 years old, but it was manufactured 13 years ago. And the harness, the wiring harness for the Nexus controller is no longer, they don't have any. So it was either buy a new generator at $6 or $7 grand, or the service manager called me and said that the technician that was up here, he was pretty sharp. I had lent him some of my small electronic hand tools, and he was able to dive. He grippers and cutters, but I gave him some. I lent him some of my small stuff, some of my Molex picks and whatnot, and he tried to salvage the Molex connectors that had gotten fried along with the controller, and it just didn't work. Generac has changed all their pins to a more standard pin than something generic in-house like old Ma Bell. You know, they made their own stuff at Western Electric. Anyhow, he'll be up tomorrow, and the harness is going to cost me $400, which is quite a bit less than $6 grand. So hopefully we'll get the generator back up and running. The biggest issue, I think, on the agenda this morning is our friend down there with that association that he's dealing with. I have a gut feeling that this is not going to go well. W4RQ, KB2EF. Oh, did you get the pictures, Ted?
Yeah, while you were on that time, I brought them up on the on my cell phone, and cool. I think, all right, that's a top hat. That's going to go on what, a Pi 3 or a Pi 4? I guess then they do they give the programming for the Pi for that, or anyway? Yeah, you can address that when you come back. Roger on a generator. Yeah, I was thinking when you were telling me about the Molex pins, and I think you mentioned that the pin size actually changed. So I guess the new Molex pins are a little bit wider diameter than the old one. And when you mentioned that, I wondered if you were going to have to bite the bullet and replace the generator unit, or if they would have to swap out most of the control guts for that to bring it up to date. But actually, the harness, the $400 harness, that's a lot better than $6,000 for the generator. Hi. So I hope that works out for you tomorrow. Let's see. The other thing was, our friend down near D.C. That has gotten to be quite a mess. And the problem is that he has one neighbor that is very, very vindictive, and he's not a dummy either. But this neighbor, he ran and got elected to the board now, and now the board is saying, "Oh, you got to do this and that. And we're changing the rules and everything." And I asked Brian, I said, "Well, what about the letter that the lawyer had them send you when you made the original agreement back in April?" So I said, with that, they shouldn't be able to change things on you. Any new rules they make would be applied to somebody new, but not retroactive. His answer was, they can change it. Whether they can get away with it is another story. So what he is doing, yesterday and today, he's been off the air. He has not put up the antenna, and I feel for him. I really do. He really told me the other day that he says, "Lady," he says, "when I go out and I put up the antenna to get on the air, I come down in the basement and get on the radio, it's just not fun anymore." And he's decided that he's not going to put up the antenna until after he gets this straightened out. And if he can't get it straightened out, if he's got to get rid of that antenna or something, you got to know. You got to know my buddy. He's about ready to tell this other guy. He says, you'll shut my monopole antenna down. He said, but I got room in the attic for a 20-meter beam, and I'm going to be coming back with 1,500 watts on a beam, and there's nothing you can do about it. I said, well, let's wait and see what happens. But he was going to go yesterday, I think. I believe it was yesterday morning. He was going to go to a lawyer, take his letter in, see what can be done. He's been very, very careful in his responses to the organization that he's involved with, and I'm dying to know what he's finding out from on a legal standpoint. But he's been so upset by this that I told him the other day, I said, look, I don't want to add to your frustration or anything. I'm not going to keep bugging you about it. I won't say anything more until you're ready to. And when you are, just, let me know. So he's off the air for the moment. I hope that'll change soon. And we'll just see what happens. In the meanwhile, I'm on just kind of twiddling my thumbs and really dying to know what he's finding out about with the legal thing. But like I said, I told him I'd stay out of the way, and by golly, that's what I'm going to do. I got to respect his privacy, and I know it's been upsetting for him. I did go back and I did some refiguring, and actually, I think they came up with a thing that said, well, two things. One, they said an antenna that was 25 feet high, no more than 25 feet, was acceptable at all times. But then in the next sentence, they were saying that he would be limited to a maximum of 6 hours in a day, not to exceed 24 hours in a 2-week period, which comes out to an average of like 3 hours a day. And I think those restrictions are really out of line. But I'm going to stay out of it. Let him go do what he needs to do, and hopefully he'll get it straightened out. But if push comes to shove, I really don't know what's going to happen. So now I'm in the dark, and I'm going to stay that way until he's ready to talk about it. KB2EF, this is W4RQ. Back up to you, Bob.
Hi, W4RQ, KB2EF, little band shift. You still copy me okay, Barefoot? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little noisier, but I'm okay with you. I can kick in some juice here if you want.
Okay, W4RQ, KB2EF. Just come on.
Okay, no problem. I kicked mine in too.
Hi, W4RQ, KB2EF. According to my trusty watt meter, I'm putting out about 600 watts PEP. All right. Yeah, that's the situation. You know, instead of the Supreme Court dealing with guns and abortion, they ought to deal with those kinds of organizations. They are totally dictatorial. I don't understand the whole philosophy behind those things anyway. But I go back to caveat emptor. You know, I can't blame them because he purchased that property knowing full well that it was in that type of association. So basically, hey, you know, they didn't sneak up on you. You bought this eyes wide open. And what can I say? On that item, I was going to get a simplex one, which is you can only dedicate one time slot. And I got to do more reading and researching and talking to guys, and they said, you know, for $6 more, you can get the duplex one, which allows you to use both time slots. And that opens up a whole, it's like an exponential 10 times of what you can do. So I said, okay. Now, when you buy that hat, it fits on any of the pies, the pi 0, the pi 2s, the pi 3s, the A, the Bs, the B pluses. So I have a second B plus, which I've been running and getting in, you know, I have my original one, which is on the internet, that I cruise the internet with. And it's isolated, it's firewalled from my main system here in the house. Anyway, the second pi 3B plus has now been reconfigured. I had to remove the external, that little board we bought for a time, the clock, because at that time, if you remember, I was not on the internet. I was on satellite, so I could not keep it running. and the clock needed to be synced. And it was difficult, so I bought that little, it was a, $4 board, just plug it in on that header. Well, that came out, and then I found a spot that I can tap to the fan. So that hat will sit directly on that long header, and it's well made. It's got two antenna ports, one for time one, for time slot one for time slot two, so that's going to work out real good. And that's what I've been doing, each baby steps, what does this mean? Go research that, learn all I can about that, then come back, and of course, as you delve into, as you mind into an area, there'll be an expression or something said, you have to go research that. So from the original page, you're now 9 pages further in, but you've learned 10 things. So you start backing out, say, okay, I got that now, okay. And then you go on to the next item, from A to B, and you start with B, and you wind up going to B2, B3, B4, B5, and you back on out and go to C, and you read C2, 3, 4, 10. So you get the idea. So I don't want to, they're not expensive, so I blow them up, but I don't want to do that. I want to do this so I learn it correctly.